Hello and you're very welcome to this video. Today we're going to do an example of mapping diagrams with a number missing. So we can see in the question we're given a function that's defined of f of x is x plus 3 and we're asked to find the missing numbers for p, q, r and s in the following set of couples. So we've got 2p minus 2q, or 6 and s0. So first thing I'm going to do is our usual, we're going to draw out our table. So we're going to have our x values over here, our function in the middle, which is x plus 3. And then we're going to have our f of x or our y values, which are our outputs over here on the right hand side. So I want to write out the couples we have here. So we have 2p minus 2q, or 6, and S0. So, the best way to look at this is that the number on the left of the comma is always going to be your x value, and the right of the comma is always going to be your y value. So if you can imagine your 2 is your x, your p is your y, your minus 2 is your x, your q is your y. What's your or going to be, do you think? It's an x. And what's your 6 going to be? It's a y, which means your s is an x and your 0 is a y. So let's fill that information now into our table. So our x values are going to be 2, minus 2, or, and s. My y values then, my corresponding y values, are going to be p, q, 6, and 0. Just draw little lines across there to make it very, very clear as to what's what. Excellent. Okay, so now let's use my formula to help myself out here. So I've got my input of 2. I have to put it into my function or method there of x plus 3, and I'm going to get p, but we need to find out what p is. So when I swap my 2 in for my x, that becomes 2 plus 3. My answer to that is 5, so p is simply equal to 5. For the next line, my x is minus 2, so I sub that in, so that becomes minus 2 plus 3, so that becomes 1. Minus 2 plus 3 is 1, so q therefore is going to be equal to 1. In the next one then, my input is or, so it's going to become or plus 3. So or plus 3 equals 6. Now, what we need to do here is we need to make this a bit of an algebra question. So I'm going to take it outside of my table, and I know or plus 3 equals 6. So how am I going to find what or is equal to? Well, I'm going to have to move 3 out of where it is there and move it to the other side of the equal sign there. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to frankly subtract 3 from each side. So that's going to leave me with a case of or equals, because plus 3 minus 3 cancel out, and 6 minus 3 is equal to 3. So therefore, or is going to be equal to 3 up here. Now my next example one here, I have s as my input, so I sub that into my formula, so that becomes s. My s's are absolutely horrible. Let's try that again and make it not look like a 5. My s, there we go, plus 3 is equal to 0. So again, let me work this out algebraically. So I know s plus 3 is equal to 0. I need to get s by itself, so I need to move the 3 to the other side of the equals. So I'm going to subtract 3 from the left-hand side, and whatever I do to the left side, I do to the right side, because I need to keep it balanced. So I'm going to subtract 3 from there as well. That leaves me with s on the left-hand side, because the plus 3 minus 3 cancel out, is equal to, well, 0 minus 3 is minus 3. So s is therefore going to be equal to minus 3. So now I have found my value for p, q, or, and s. And that's how you go about doing a question like that. If you've got any questions at all, be it a question from your textbook that you're working on or anything else related to junior cycle ordinary level maths, please free or fail to ask in the comments below. If your question regarding something I've done in this question here, ask down there as well. If you enjoyed this video, why not give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully you'll be here to watch again soon.